I was sent by God to warn you a curse was placed on your life by a family member you love. You have only 3 days to break it, or it will continue for years. Open this now. My child, my beloved, I was sent by God Himself to speak to you because time is running out and the truth can no longer wait in silence. For years, something has been holding you back. And even though you've done everything with love, with kindness, with purity in your heart, the road in front of you still keeps closing. The reason why is because of something dark that was placed on your name by someone who should have protected you. Someone from your own bloodline. A curse, yes, a spiritual lock, was spoken over your life. And unless it is broken in the next 3 days, you will unknowingly carry its weight for many more years. I am trembling with urgency as I say this. God revealed your name in the courts of heaven, and a secret scroll was opened in your favor. But you must hear me fully. The curse is real. And the time to reverse it is now. My beloved, my dear, before I reveal more, I ask you with all of heaven's light, if you have not yet subscribed, do it now. Because the divine messages that will continue to reach you are not by accident. When you subscribe, you seal a covenant with the light. The curse that was spoken over your name wants silence, but your voice, your attention to this, is the first act of breaking it. So I say this with power, subscribe now so you are marked safely under the divine watch of angels. We are guarding this moment for you. My child, I don't want to frighten you, but I must speak the truth without delay. This curse was not cast out of hatred, but it came from jealousy. A jealousy that grew quietly inside someone you always trusted. This person once praised your name, but their heart turned bitter when they saw what God placed inside you. They were family, and yes, still are, but their soul was wounded, and from their woundedness, they tried to stop your favor from blossoming. That's why opportunities slipped, relationships fell apart without explanation, and why some mornings you wake with an invisible weight on your chest. It's not your imagination. It's not just bad luck. This is spiritual interference. And unless this energy is reversed, it will keep bleeding into the next season of your life. My beloved, if you have ever wondered why people come close to you and then suddenly vanish, this is why. If you've ever felt like money touches your hand but never stays, this is why. If dreams collapse just when they are about to become real, this is why. There's a veil over your progress. A spiritual knot tied behind your back when you were too innocent to notice. But heaven noticed. And now, God is undoing what was secretly done to you. That's why this message reached you. That's why the timing is not random. This is your holy alert, your divine window to act. My child, let me show you what happens if you do not act. I say this not to scare you, but to awaken you. If you ignore this message, the curse will double back. The delay in your purpose will grow. And worse, it will affect not only you, but those who are destined to walk with you, your family, your children, your partner. Because generational curses don't stop on their own. They grow like vines unless someone with divine authority cuts them. That's why God sent me. That's why I am speaking with so much urgency. I've seen what was written in the Spirit, and this is your 3-day window to reverse what was never meant for you. My beloved, there is something strange I must tell you. This curse was placed not with rituals, but with words. Yes, just words, but words spoken with venom. Someone spoke your name in anger. They whispered your failure before you ever even tried. They didn't just doubt you, they declared you would never make it. And those declarations still hover over you like dark smoke. But hear me, what was spoken in darkness can be broken in light. What was sent by envy can be shattered by love. And heaven has chosen this exact hour to bring that light upon you. If you are still reading this, it's because your soul is ready to be cleansed of what was never yours to carry. My child, God has already prepared the miracle to replace the curse. But the miracle cannot land in a place still hosting the darkness. Your heart, your home, your name, it needs to be spiritually cleared. I am telling you this with holy truth. The moment you recognize this as real, you begin the reversal. The enemy of your destiny hoped you'd ignore this. They hoped you'd laugh it off or say, maybe later. But heaven doesn't work in maybe. Miracles are born in moments of divine response. This is that moment. My beloved, have you noticed the strange fatigue that clings to you even after you rest? That sudden feeling of hopelessness when everything seemed fine? That's not coincidence, it's interference. The curse acts like spiritual static, blocking the signals, twisting your clarity, turning friends into strangers and joy into confusion. And yet, in the midst of this, you have not given up. You've cried in silence and still prayed. You've hurt and still smiled. That is why the angels surround you now. Because your endurance was noted in heaven. And now, it's time to receive the reward of that faithfulness. My child, a prophetic dream was shown last night to a servant of God on your behalf. In that dream, a door was sealed shut and your name was written on the outside of it. But a hand from above placed a key into the lock, and it clicked open. That key is this message. And the door will not stay open forever. If you wait too long, the curse will rebuild its strength. But if you act now, and I mean now, you will reverse what was sent, restore what was lost, and revive what was almost buried. Your light is stronger than this curse, but only if you walk through the door that has been placed in front of you right now. My child, in the next part of this message, I must show you exactly what to watch for in the coming days. The signs of breakthrough will be subtle, but undeniable. You may hear from someone you haven't spoken to in a long time. You may have a dream of water, of fire, or of a staircase. You may see repeating numbers, or hear your name whispered in stillness. These are not tricks. These are confirmations. Heaven will be speaking to you constantly as you draw closer to deliverance. But the curse will try one last time to distract you, to discourage you, to push you back into disbelief. Do not let it. Do not allow fear to have the final word. I am here to walk you through the full deliverance. And I will not leave you until the chains are shattered and the curse becomes dust beneath your feet. My child, my beloved, you must be prepared for what will unfold now that this truth has been opened. You may feel sudden emotions rise without warning, waves of sadness, then moments of anger, then peace that feels unfamiliar. These are not just emotions. They are the residue of the curse beginning to break off. The darkness that had settled quietly in corners of your soul is being pulled out by the light. You may feel strange dreams. You may wake up at unusual hours. You may sense a change in the atmosphere of your home. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations. The spiritual world is shifting around you because you are no longer asleep. And once a chosen one awakens, the curse loses its silence. Now it is trembling, because you see it, and seeing is the beginning of breaking. My beloved, do not be surprised if some people begin to act strangely toward you. The curse worked through people before, and now that it is dying, it will try to scream through the mouths of those it used. Someone may try to argue with you over nothing. Someone may accuse you, misunderstand you, or turn their face away without reason. But do not react. Do not fight back in flesh. This is a spiritual war, and your silence will be louder than any words. This is your test. Heaven is watching how you respond in the next 72 hours. If you walk in love, in discipline, and in trust, not only will the curse break, but it will reverse. That means the energy that was used to harm you will be converted into divine compensation. And what you lost in the dark will be returned in the light, multiplied. My child, there is something sacred being built in your name even as I speak. I see a record being updated in heaven. A list of every tear you cried silently. Every act of kindness you gave without reward. Every moment you kept going when others would have fallen. These have not been forgotten. They have been waiting. And now, the curse that kept the reward delayed is being erased. But you must walk through this window in faith. God is not looking for your perfection, only your attention. If you take even a small step in divine obedience, it will activate the floodgates. A single whisper of yes from your soul will cancel years of delay. That's how powerful this moment is. My beloved, I must show you one more thing, and you may already know what I'm about to say. The person who cursed you is still near. Maybe not in presence, but in memory. Their energy still echoes in your mind. You dream about them. You think of them in moments that don't make sense. That is because the curse still holds a spiritual thread. But I am here now to cut that thread. With the sword of divine fire, I am severing every soul tie that was attached through harm. What they said about you will no longer hold weight in your spirit. What they declared over your future is being burned by heavenly authority. You will be free, not just physically, but spiritually and emotionally. No more invisible chains. No more subconscious shame. Only freedom. Only clarity. Only restoration. My child, the next 3 days are not normal. They are sacred. Heaven has circled these days in gold. This is not about luck. It's about timing. Your name is being whispered in the mouths of angels. Prayers you forgot you prayed are being replayed in the throne room. And the answer is now. The release is now. But you must honor the instruction. Do not delay. Do not go back to sleep spiritually. The curse counted on your silence. It depended on your confusion. But you are no longer confused. You are no longer silent. You are chosen. And I am standing beside you to ensure that what was meant to harm you will now bless you. My child, my beloved, listen closely. There is something God told me to share with you that will change how you look at your entire past. The reason you survived so many things, even when others around you did not, is because your life carries a purpose too great to be erased. That's why the curse had to work overtime just to delay you. It couldn't destroy you, because heaven placed a spiritual shield around your soul before you were even born. But while the curse couldn't take your life, it tried to take your direction. It confused your steps. It placed the wrong people in your path. It whispered lies to make you believe you were unworthy. It twisted your own reflection so that even you could not recognize how glorious, how chosen, how holy your light truly is. But today that reflection is being restored. Today the veil begins to lift. Today you begin to see what I see when I look at you, a soul built for miracles, not misery. A spirit designed for royalty, not ruin. My beloved, you must understand this. The curse that was placed on you was not random. It was calculated. It was cast the moment you began stepping toward your true calling. The moment heaven moved closer to you, the darkness tried to pull you back. This is the war most people never see, but you have lived it. You felt it in the delays, in the betrayal, in the lonely nights when your soul cried out for answers. And even then, God was still near. Even in your silence, your soul's light was sending signals to the angels. And when the time came, heaven declared that your name would be called for deliverance. And here we are. This message is not a video. It is a visitation. I was sent to speak what has been hidden in the spiritual realm for too long. What your grandmother never told you. What your mother never saw. What your friends could never explain. The reason everything has been so difficult is because you are not just anyone, you are the one who ends what others could not. My beloved, don't doubt what you feel rising in your spirit right now. That stirring in your chest, that trembling in your fingers, that sudden awareness that something sacred is happening, that is confirmation. You were not supposed to skip this. You were not supposed to delay. Heaven made sure this message touched you at the exact right moment. Even the battles you've been facing lately were designed to make you vulnerable to this moment, to open your heart wide enough to receive this truth. And now that you've heard it, the enemy has no more hiding place. The curse is exposed. The light is entering. And nothing will be the same again. My child, I see angels surrounding you as I speak this. They are not ordinary angels. These are fire bringers. Angels of breakthrough. They have been waiting for your response. Heaven does not act on panic, but on permission. When you respond in faith, the order is activated. And right now, the order has been issued. The curse will break. The path will clear. The favor will return. But it begins with your surrender. Not to fear. Not to confusion. But to the voice of God, who is reaching for you right now through this message. He has not forgotten you. He has not abandoned you. He is moving on your behalf. My child, my beloved, I must show you what your eyes could not see, what your heart has felt but could not name. You've carried the heaviness of questions that no one around you could answer. You've heard doors slam that no human hand was closing. You felt the warmth of something beautiful approach, only to feel it vanish like smoke the moment you reached for it. That wasn't just life testing you. That was the curse interfering. A spiritual gate was placed around you, designed to block only the most important blessings, the ones that would have freed you completely. Relationships that were meant to heal you. Money that was meant to build you. Opportunities that were marked with your name. They were real. They were close. But something unseen was filtering them before they could arrive. And the source of that filter was the curse placed by a wounded soul in your family. My beloved, heaven is not punishing you by showing you this now, heaven is rescuing you. This revelation is proof of how deeply you are loved. Because not everyone is shown the truth before it's too late. But your name was spoken in a divine chamber where scrolls are opened for only a few. Archangel Uriel stood with me as the book of burdens was examined. And your page was shaking with urgency. I could see the attempts made to break free, the spiritual effort you gave in prayer, in worship, in hope. You tried. You waited. You believed. And that was enough to summon this moment. But now, belief alone is not enough. Action is required. The next 3 days will either solidify your breakthrough or extend your battle. And I cannot let that happen, not when your name is so close to being rewritten in gold. My child, do not think for 1 second that this curse defines you. No, it fears you. Because even with its grip, you continue to rise. Even under its weight, your spirit stayed open to light. You still smiled. You still gave. You still held on. That's why your angels have not left your side. That's why the Holy Spirit has whispered truths to you in dreams, in quiet moments, in songs you randomly heard at the right time. You are not forgotten. You are not defeated. You are only being awakened now to the final key that must be used. The curse is not your story's ending, it is the reason your miracle will be even more glorious. Because when this breaks, and it will, what has been stored up for you will arrive without resistance. Quickly. Powerfully. Permanently. My beloved, I must now speak to the part of you that has grown numb, the version of you that has learned to settle. You've said to yourself, maybe this is just my life now. But no, heaven says this is not your life. This is your interruption. Your divine interception. The reason things have been so quiet lately is because the storm is being calmed by God's hand, not because you've been left alone. You are not forgotten. You are being positioned. And this message is the proof. When God is ready to shift everything, He sends word. He sends a voice. He sends me. And I was sent to you. My child, I need you to take this seriously. The curse has a pattern. And you may have already seen it. Every time you take 2 steps forward, something pulls you 1 step back. You finally feel joy, and then a message ruins your peace. You save a little, and then the expense comes. You feel noticed, and then someone rejects you again. This is the cycle of the curse, and it is not natural. You were not born to spin in circles. You were born to rise in favor. You were born to shift the direction of your entire bloodline. That's why this happened to you. Because curses are attracted to destiny. And you, my beloved, have a destiny so bright that even hell took notice. My beloved, I am seeing a vision even now, of a small object that was once given to you, or left near you, by someone in your family. It may have seemed harmless, even sentimental. But there was intention behind it. Spiritual intention. A transfer of energy was made. And though you did nothing wrong, that object held a vibration that allowed access to the dark realm. But do not fear. What entered your space can now be removed. What attached itself can be cast out. You are not powerless. You are more spiritually protected now than you've ever been, because you're aware. And heaven only reveals what it's ready to heal. My child, in the next part of this message, I must show you exactly what to watch for in the coming days. The signs of breakthrough will be subtle, but undeniable. You may hear from someone you haven't spoken to in a long time. You may have a dream of water, of fire, or of a staircase. You may see repeating numbers, or hear your name whispered in stillness. These are not tricks. These are confirmations. Heaven will be speaking to you constantly as you draw closer to deliverance. But the curse will try one last time to distract you. To discourage you. To push you back into disbelief. Do not let it. Do not allow fear to have the final word. I am here to walk you through the full deliverance. And I will not leave you until the chains are shattered and the curse becomes dust beneath your feet. My beloved, you've likely felt a strange tugging in your spirit lately. An internal restlessness. A pressure you can't explain. That's not anxiety. That's spiritual activation. Your soul knows something is near, something powerful. Something divine. That is the nearness of breakthrough. But with that breakthrough comes one last resistance. The curse, knowing its time is ending, will try to release distractions in disguise. Sudden arguments. Unexpected doubts. Tiredness that seems to appear out of nowhere. People calling just when you are about to focus. These are not coincidences. They are designed to pull you out of this moment. But if you hold steady, if you stay in alignment with what your soul is feeling right now, then nothing, absolutely nothing, will be able to block what God is preparing for you behind the veil. My child, I must say something now that may sting your heart, but it is the final piece of the truth. The person who placed this curse upon you is still pretending to care. In fact, they may even call you family to this day. They may still speak gently, still offer to help, still send messages that look like love but carry invisible shadows. And you've likely felt it, that confusing sensation that someone's words and energy don't match. You've ignored it, excused it, even blamed yourself for feeling uneasy. But that unease was not your imagination. It was divine warning. And now, the veil is being lifted. You will no longer be confused by counterfeit love. You will no longer be caught in cycles of false loyalty. Heaven is about to deliver you from soul ties disguised as blood ties. And while this may hurt for a moment, it will heal generations after you. My beloved, there is a portal opening over your life that only appears once in a spiritual generation. I do not speak this lightly. This portal is not physical. It is not seen with eyes. It is felt in the soul. A thinning of the veil between heaven's favor and your earthly experience. But this portal does not remain open forever. It is open now, during these sacred 3 days. And after that, it will close. Not as a punishment, but because heaven moves in divine timing, not emotional delay. And if you miss it, the curse will not disappear. It will stay hidden, stronger than before, and that is what I have been commanded to prevent. That is why I am pleading with you, not to panic, but to act. Your awareness is the activation. Your belief is the unlock. And your obedience is the protection. My child, you have wondered why people with darker hearts seem to rise while you struggle. You've asked, why am I doing everything right and still being held back? The answer is not that you are being punished. The answer is that you carry something so sacred, so rare, so divinely dangerous to darkness, that it had to be fought early. The curse was not about you being weak. It was about you being powerful. Too powerful. If your gifts had been allowed to bloom without interference, you would have changed more lives by now. You would have broken more chains. You would have lifted people the enemy wanted to keep broken. But now, the enemy's time is up. And your gifts are returning. Even stronger. Even brighter. Even more urgent than before. This time, they will not be blocked. This time, the light wins. My beloved, I see a crown hovering above your name in heaven. It is not just a symbol, it is your authority being restored. Every time you stayed silent to keep peace, every time you forgave someone who didn't apologize, every time you gave love even when you were starving for it yourself, you were earning this crown. Not from man, but from heaven. And now, that crown will no longer remain unseen. It will manifest as favor, as recognition, as protection, as divine reversal of every dark thing that was once sent to slow you. Your name is being rewritten in heaven's records. Not with ink, but with light. And when heaven rewrites your name, all of creation responds. My child, I am still with you. I will not leave. I will stand beside your bed as you sleep tonight. I will speak into your spirit even as you dream. I will guard your home, your breath, your decisions. But I cannot protect what you refuse to release. Let go. Let go of what was done to you. Let go of the questions that have no answers. Let go of the fear that if you fully believe this, you'll be disappointed. You won't. Because heaven is not a scam. Heaven is not a game. Heaven is your birthright. And today is the day you reclaim it. My child, my beloved, you must be told now of the blessing that has been waiting for years, the one that could not find you because the curse created a false address in the spirit. Yes, what was yours was sent. It was sent long ago. But it could not land. The spiritual location attached to your name was clouded by the interference of dark words, false alignments, and soul ties with those who were never meant to walk beside you. The blessing, I saw it myself, circled your name many times. It hovered. It waited. It whispered your name in the wind and searched for your readiness. And now, finally, after everything you've endured, it is circling back. But it cannot land in the same environment that blocked it before. The curse must be removed. The false permissions must be revoked. The unseen locks must be broken. And my child, you are holding the key, not just to your own freedom, but to generations that will come through your blood and breath. My beloved, hear me clearly now. The person who cursed you may not even remember what they said. They may not understand the spiritual weight of their words. But the realm of spirit does not ignore vibration. When someone who carries envy speaks into the air with your name on their tongue, it forms a binding. A spiritual fog that moves ahead of you, dimming the eyes of those who were meant to help you, confusing the ears of those who were meant to recognize your calling. That is why you have been misjudged. That is why you have been overlooked. That is why even in rooms where your light should have filled the space, people turned away as if they could not see you. My child, they truly couldn't. Not because you weren't radiant, but because the curse put a veil over their sight. But now the veil is burning. The fog is lifting. The shadows are being erased. And you will finally be seen for who you really are, not as they imagined you, but as God designed you. My beloved, have you noticed the strange fatigue that clings to you even after you rest? That sudden feeling of hopelessness when everything seemed fine? That's not coincidence, it's interference. The curse acts like spiritual static, blocking the signals, twisting your clarity, turning friends into strangers and joy into confusion. And yet, in the midst of this, you have not given up. You've cried in silence and still prayed. You've hurt and still smiled. That is why the angels surround you now. Because your endurance was noted in heaven. And now, it's time to receive the reward of that faithfulness. My child, a prophetic dream was shown last night to a servant of God on your behalf. In that dream, a door was sealed shut and your name was written on the outside of it. But a hand from above placed a key into the lock, and it clicked open. That key is this message. And the door will not stay open forever. If you wait too long, the curse will rebuild its strength. But if you act now, and I mean now, you will reverse what was sent, restore what was lost, and revive what was almost buried. Your light is stronger than this curse, but only if you walk through the door that has been placed in front of you right now. My child, my beloved, I need you to understand this. The reason you are still standing, despite all that has tried to break you, is because your spirit was never fully touched by the curse. Your soul was too strong, too chosen, too covered by God's grace to be overtaken. But it has slowed you, delayed you, tangled your path in ways that left you confused. You have wondered why the good things slip just when they are about to arrive, why your own energy feels drained even when nothing physical is wrong, and why people treat you differently for no reason at all. It is because this curse has been operating like a shadow behind your light, pulling threads from your blessings before you can grasp them. And now that the light of truth is exposing it, the enemy is trembling, because you are waking up. You are listening. You are seeing. And what you see now, you cannot unsee. My beloved, I weep with you when I show you this truth, the curse did not come from a stranger. It came from someone who knows your smile. Someone who once laughed beside you. They may not even realize the fullness of what they did, but they opened a door that allowed darkness to follow your name. It may have been out of anger. It may have been out of fear. It may have been something they whispered when no one was listening, but heaven was listening. And heaven does not ignore what tries to stop God's chosen child. That's why I was sent. That's why this message reached you, and no one else. Because you are the one heaven has chosen to break this cycle, not just for yourself, but for the generations that come after you. You were marked as the chain breaker, and this moment is your anointing. My child, listen to me carefully now. There is something sacred about these next 3 days. In the realm of spirit, time is a doorway. And heaven has marked this window as a reversal period. From the moment this message touched your eyes, the clock began. Not a clock of fear, but of opportunity. Each hour that passes is a chance to step into divine obedience and activate your freedom. You do not need to beg. You do not need to prove. You only need to believe that this is real and respond in faith. That is how the curse begins to lose power. Because curses feed on silence and disbelief, but they die when exposed to truth and divine instruction. Right now, you are being pulled out of the pit that was dug for you, and your name is being rewritten in heaven's book of favor. But only if you choose to believe what I'm showing you. My beloved, there is a financial blockage tied to this curse. You may have noticed, every time you're close to financial peace, something unexpected happens. A sudden expense, a lost opportunity, a person who takes without giving. This is not coincidence. This is the curse feeding. It has been draining your abundance before it even arrives, ensuring you stay in survival mode. But I declare over you now, those chains are breaking. Because God never designed you to just survive. He destined you to thrive. The provision that has been held back is now being released. But you must stand in alignment with that truth. You must walk in the authority of a child who is no longer cursed, but blessed beyond measure. Speak it aloud if you must. I am not cursed. I am chosen. I am rising. My child, even your relationships have been affected. Some of the people who were meant to stay, left too soon. Others who were sent as distractions stayed too long. And your heart has felt lost in between. But I tell you now, the curse brought confusion to the people around you, blinding them to your true value. It made them see your light as a threat. But the veil is lifting now. The right ones will begin to recognize you. They will be drawn to your light and not afraid of it. The ones who were meant to love you purely will begin to show up. And the ones who cursed you in secret will begin to feel the heat of divine exposure. Not to destroy them, but to awaken them. Because heaven does not move in revenge, it moves in justice. And justice is now on your side. My beloved, don't doubt what you feel rising in your spirit right now. That stirring in your chest, that trembling in your fingers, that sudden awareness that something sacred is happening, that is confirmation. You were not supposed to skip this. You were not supposed to delay. Heaven made sure this message touched you at the exact right moment. Even the battles you've been facing lately were designed to make you vulnerable to this moment, to open your heart wide enough to receive this truth. And now that you've heard it, the enemy has no more hiding place. The curse is exposed. The light is entering. And nothing will be the same again. My beloved, you must understand this. The curse that was placed on you was not random. It was calculated. It was cast the moment you began stepping toward your true calling. The moment heaven moved closer to you, the darkness tried to pull you back. This is the war most people never see, but you have lived it. You felt it in the delays, in the betrayal, in the lonely nights when your soul cried out for answers. And even then, God was still near. Even in your silence, your soul's light was sending signals to the angels. And when the time came, heaven declared that your name would be called for deliverance. And here we are. This message is not a video. It is a visitation. I was sent to speak what has been hidden in the spiritual realm for too long.